So how can you gain more likes, follows, and comments on Instagram? We're looking for real interactions from real people in your community. This is what Alex Mortz has asked. So welcome to Community Tips. This is where we help one person to help everybody. Alex says that he's interested in gaining more genuine likes, follows, and comments, so general interactions from real people. He's also asking how important are hashtags right now, and he wants to improve his content and his captions. So let's jump into his account and see what we can do. Okay, so here we are on Alex's profile, and there's something that jumps out straight away, but I'm not going to go into that just yet. Let's see if you can spot it. So Alex has 2,763 followers, and he's following 2,200 people. That seems a little high to me, so I'm suspect of whether he's done follow on follow in the past, which might mean that his engagement is a little lower than it maybe would be if everyone had followed purely because they discovered his content. So that's one thing to spot. If you're following people in order for them to follow back, your engagement is going to be a little lower. So we're just going to go through some of his posts and have a look. So he's got 242 likes on this one, 281, 619. So getting around 200. That means it's about 10%, 5%, something like that. I think that's pretty normal. Let's just check his consistency. So that's September 21st, 2022. Oh, it's pinned. My bad. So let's look at this one. 6 hours ago. Okay, so that's why that one's a little lower. And this one is 1 day ago. So it looks like he's posting regularly. Now, one thing that I can see from his account straight away is if you scroll down, it's quite obvious what this account is about and what you'd be getting in the future if you hit the follow button. That means that I don't really think that the content needs to shift too much in terms of this initial feed page. I can see who he is. I'm understanding what type of person Alex is just by looking at these pictures. And that is something that a lot of people get wrong. They will have an Instagram account. It's very difficult to see who the person is behind the account. But I'll go back to what I spotted before straight away. He's a Yorkshire-based climber and occasional outdoor swimmer. That's fine, that's cool. I'm not sure how relevant it is to say where you're based. For me, that's the leading moment that you introduce yourself. And if that's really important to you, great. But if it's not, consider what else you could put there. And that leads me on to this bit here, which is, Third Rock clothing, climbing clothing, 10% discount. Now, is this a brand that you are really close to? Is this a friend's brand? Is this your brand? Or is this you trying to make money with your Instagram? If it's you trying to make money with your Instagram, I wouldn't put this here. I would lead with value, lead with content, lead with things that are going to make people follow you. And within that content that you're making, that's when you mention these things here, because I've arrived at your account. I've discovered that you're a Yorkshire-based climber and occasional outdoor swimmer. And in the second line, I'm being asked if I want to buy something, which I don't right now. I want to know more about you. And this website here, this is the link. Now, again, if this is your brand and this is the whole point of your Instagram account, if the reason that you're on Instagram is to sell Third Rock clothing, then fine, carry on. But if it's not, you've missed an opportunity for someone to get to know you better, and you've used 3 lines to try and sell Third Rock clothing. So ask yourself, is that your priority? Because in the message that you sent me, there wasn't anything about selling more products. So it looks to me like your account is almost optimized to sell more Third Rock clothing rather than the things that you've asked me how to do. Anyway, we'll put that to one side. So how do we address the initial thing? The likes, the comments, and the follows. All of those things require one thing, which is impressions. If you don't know what impressions are, that is the amount of people that are seeing your account. So in order to increase those 3 things, likes, follows, and comments, you need more impressions. And you're posting regularly, and your content is fine, in my opinion, for this niche. Right now, the best way to get impressions on Instagram is by making reels. Probably hate this as a photographer, and some of you watching will be photographers. But if you need more impressions, that's a great place to start. So we're going to look at your reels and see what you've got going on. Let's watch this one. So this is fine. This is easy to make content, which is good. I always think that if you're making content, I start by stuff that's easy to make and I try and add value into it. If you start with really kind of high production, very difficult to make stuff, it really puts you off. So this is cool, this is fine. I can see what you're going for here with your reels, and reels, remember, they're the most important thing to do on Instagram if you want more impressions, which is going to lead to more likes, follows, and comments. But you probably could be trying to give more value, more reason for the person to watch. And let's look at this one, because this looks like it's trying to be a value giver, if that makes sense. There's something that could improve this massively. If this said 6 things I'm so glad I bought, and then you pop these in one by one, so it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's going to force me to watch all the way through. Right now, I can see it in a millisecond and be like, cool, I'm done, out I go. And that will send signals to Instagram to say, don't show this reel to any more, because they're not watching it all the way through. So let's learn a little bit more about Alex. Let's look at his photography highlights. Fun. One thing that's great is that I'm learning a lot about you and what you do from this. And you're clearly, as I've already said, part of a niche. I think what you're going to need to do is convert your account from an account about your interests into obviously being something that other people need to watch, some value somewhere. So this could be, this is just off the top of my head, but this could be great climbing locations, climbing tips. You could be talking about climbing gear. I spotted you did that in this one. Do more of that, giving people a reason to need to follow your account. When you're providing people with information that they're going to find useful, that is not really about you, it makes people want to follow because they don't want to lose you. They think, oh, this is a resource that I can use, I can tap into. I don't want to lose this person, so I'm just going to follow them just so I can check it out later. Okay, that's probably the main reason most people follow on Instagram, is that they want to kind of bookmark you. And a great way of thinking about it is, okay, if I want someone to bookmark me, what reason do they have to bookmark me? Usually it's not about you, it's about them. It's about they want to improve something about themselves, and they can see something in you that they can, for want of a better word, harvest from you. So they want to bookmark you so they can sort of use that information to improve themselves. That's a great way to think of it. Now you need to think, okay, so in my bio, what have I got here that tells other people that, that there's something here that they need. But to answer that initial question, okay, we've established you want likes, follows, comments, and you need to get impressions. The best way of doing that right now on your account is to post reels and make those reels something that other people will find valuable. Try more of this, and maybe try share locations, one of the best climbing places, one of the best hiking places. Try that and see whether that brings more people in, but continue to share your photography, your feed posts as well. I think those are fine, and they're doing, as you'd expect. The next question you ask is, are hashtags important? I think the answer there is, it doesn't hurt to add them. It is a way that people can discover you, but I don't think they're so important that you should spend a lot of time discovering new hashtags like the way it used to be. So the simple answer to that question about hashtags, are they important, is not really, and they will be less important in the future. So try and get used to this new way of doing things. Finally, you asked content and captions. Content, I think, is fine. I've already talked about how you can improve your reels, but in terms of captions, they say hike for happiness, or get outside and do something because you'll feel, I think this is interesting. What's lacking here probably is an opportunity for the viewer to get involved in that conversation. This is a fair statement and a quite well written one, but it doesn't give me an opportunity to get involved. So let's go back and try another one. Try this one. Need to come back. Great birthday, a lifetime. Again, it's obviously got some comments, but it doesn't give me a chance to get involved. It's not asking me, it's not inviting me to get involved. We'll just look at one more. What's got a lot of comments? This one. What has been is not what will be. I'm a work in progress. Again, fair statement. When was that? 6 days ago. I would say this is maybe a little lazy. You may agree with me, may not, but if I'd written that would be me on one of my lazy days. I want to post some pictures, and I cannot be bothered to think of a caption. And that, while it's a fair statement, again, it doesn't invite me to get involved. I just tweeted something. Okay, you can only keep one. The other gets deleted from existence forever. Which do you choose and why? Pockets in clothing or backpacks? Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that it's quite compelling. You kind of think, oh yeah, which is it? And it makes you want to comment. It makes you think, I'm going to answer this question. I usually start a caption with something quite, shocking, like, this was one of the craziest days I had, or I'm never going to do this again. Something that makes them go, what's down here? And then I will just give a little bit of context. Then I will ask something that invites them into the conversation, a question or an opinion. One of the most potent ways that you can get someone to comment on your thing is to ask for advice, genuine advice, because it makes people feel good to help. It makes people want to, it makes people feel happy that they're needed. But don't ask advice just because you want comments. Ask advice because you need advice. So when you're writing captions, think about a way that you can hook them in, a way that you can tell a little bit of a story, and a way that you can invite them into the conversation. I think your account's great, Alex. I'm going to hit follow on here because I like your account. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember, if you want one of these done for your account, for me to take a look and maybe give you a few tips, there's a link in the description that you can go to. If you also like and comment below, that will help as well. Thanks very much, and I will see you in the next one.